corporate underground. Richmond News 98.1. WDC, the shining sun. Top 3 in the radio race. Sam NewsMan takes first place. Sam NewsMan won't be there. Feel the groove everywhere. College spirit makes us proud. Christian voices sing out loud. Corporate giants shake with fear. Sam's beats ring far and near. Students cheer and spread the word. Sam's the one you must have heard. From the campus to the town, no one brings the station down. Independent all the way. Sam NewsMan forever stay. Sam NewsMan will be there. Feel the groove everywhere. College spirit makes us proud. Richmond voices sing out loud.
We could accept the fact that the city is headed for a disaster of biblical proportion. Ladies is Old Testament, yeah, Mayor. Real wrath of God type stuff. Fire and brimstone coming down from the skies. Rivers and seas boiling. 4 years of darkness, earthquakes, volcanoes. Dead rising from the grave. Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together. Mass hysteria.
For 60 years, the U.S. government has kept a closely guarded secret. Aliens have been walking among us, living in our neighborhoods, and interacting with us in our daily lives. They've shopped in the same stores, attended the same classes as our children, and lived seemingly normal human existence. With one exception. They do not belong here. Millions of them have arrived under the cover of darkness and embedded themselves directly into our society. Countless presidents, congressmen, and senior officials knew exactly the whole time what was happening. Instead of protecting American cities, they chose to cover it up and even at some point accelerate the invasion. Until one man finally had the courage to tell the truth. Bold, unapologetic, and unafraid. That man, ladies and gentlemen, President Donald Trump. What? Well, hold on. Wait a minute. Wait. What? Wait. Can you wait a minute? Wait a minute. Cue the record scratch. Oh, because wait just a second. Hold on. I thought that this was about aliens. Listen, you guys told me that this was going to be about aliens. I've been doing this since Roswell. And then I thought that, hey, and you gave me the script and everything. And then all of a sudden, what is this? What? Aliens.gov. Well, you told me that there was going to be an alien, that there was disclosure. Steven Spielberg's doing his film. And this is what you guys do to me. You sit there, you're trolling me. No, because oh my gosh. You know what? Get this. Hold on a minute, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so sorry. Get this thing off of my head. My gosh. Oh my gosh. Good grief. Get this out of here. Hold on. Can we just, would you stop it now? Get that thing out of here. Oh my gosh. Good grief. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. Listen, the crew just, see, now this is the reason why you guys don't have a microphone. Do you understand me? You guys do not have a microphone because of stuff like this. The whole time I'm sitting there thinking that, well, what do you mean that I need to read the rest of it? President Donald Trump was the first to call out the danger aliens pose to every American family, every community nation. The truth is no longer out there. It is right here, right now. What is this? 3,130,000 encounters. There's a ticker that's going on, encounters. And then you scroll down a little bit. This is aliens.gov, ladies and gentlemen. And scroll down, and then what happens? It is a website about arrest of what? Illegal aliens. Oh my gosh, good grief. See, now this, once again, this is the reason why you guys, oh my gosh. Now this, once again, ladies and gentlemen, I am so sorry. Listen, they told me that this was going to be about aliens and I was going to be, there was disclosure that was happening. The government was doing disclosure. I've been doing this since Roswell. And if there's anybody that can talk to you about aliens and all of that, it's me. No, it's true. Listen, it's me. And I thought that this was going to be something where we were going to handshake here and say, hey, you know what? We're talking about aliens finally. Yes, this is how it's going to go down. And you guys give me this trolling website. My tax dollars are going to this. It's going to this. And here's the real problem. Ladies and gentlemen, aliens.gov. If you go to the website, aliens.gov, there's a whole website. And there's stars in the background. There's this X-Files / Unsolved Mysteries type of font that's glowing. And then I thought that this was really, I thought that so the government is trolling all of us. And they're using your tax dollars to create a website that's aliens.gov that just redirects to whitehouse.gov. It says declassified in the corner. They're trolling us. They're trolling, just like you guys behind the glass over there were just trolling me. You handed me everything and you sat there and said, hey, Sam, this is it. The government they've come out and they've sat there and they've talked about aliens. And this is what happens. This is what transpires. Good grief. Oh my gosh. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so sorry that I thought that we were going to, no, listen, I can't because I signed NDAs. I can't say anything. No, and I'm not going to say anything. What do you want me to say? You want me to say that I was trolling my audience? I was not trolling my audience. I was genuinely thinking that something really big news was coming out. You guys sat there. You told me this last night. You said, oh my gosh, Sam, guess what's happening? The government's coming out. They're going to talk about aliens and there's a website and everything. And that'll be perfect for you to talk about in the morning, because why? Well, you've been doing this since Roswell. And then this is what happened. Oh my gosh. Anyways, broadcasting live from the WDCE studios out of the University of Richmond. You're listening to WDCE 90.1 FM. Broadcasting live, of course, from the most trusted puppet media. Well, listen, they won't trust me now. They won't trust me now because, I sat there and I thought this was going to be about aliens. Reporting since Roswell, I'm Sam Newsman. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are. It is the 30th day of May in the year 2026. It is 12:25 here on the East Coast. And once again, I apologize on behalf of my moronic producers and everyone back there, the whole crew of you. You know what? You're all fired. No, well, listen, I know I can't really fire you. Yeah, no, that's not my position. No, listen, you're not an equal to me either. Don't even get it twisted. No, here I am. This is my show. It's my show. And that's the reason why you guys don't have a microphone. Oh, my gosh. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And I was sitting there. I was so excited. We could have started talking about little gray men, little green men, insectoids, reptilians. And I was all, no, I can't go into it. No, of course, and I'm not going to go into it. Makes me sick. Makes me absolutely sick that you guys had me end up trying to troll everybody out there in my entire audience. So if you're listening to us on WDC 90.1 FM. If you're out of the listening area, download the Live 365 app, search WDCE, and you'll be able to listen to the show throughout the morning. And, we started off at 11 o'clock, with Dave. Dave was here. We're playing all these alien themes, too. The moon theme from DuckTales, the alien, Star Trek, the animated series, Duck Dodgers, the Cantina Band. You got to love the Cantina Band. So, and I thought that this was generally one of those episodes where it was going to be breaking news. Kind of like when we did the Epstein thing. When Epstein got arrested, we were here live. When Epstein didn't kill himself, we were here live. I thought it was going to be one of those type of shows. You guys built this all up. And then all of a sudden, this is what happened. So, anyway, shout out to everybody, of course, also joining us. The Sam Cams are live, up and running. We're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Kick. That is Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Kick at Sam Newsman, all over social media. So I want to thank everyone, of course, who did nominate me for Best Afternoon Radio Show. For Best Afternoon Radio Show and Saturday Morning Radio, the first hour of the show, which is radio only, by the way. That's why I tell you, you need to be listening to us on the FM dial if you're here locally, or downloading the Live 365 app. If you're out of the 8-mile signal, of course, of this tower here at the University of Richmond. Last year we won Best Local Morning Radio Show. So, but this year we're trying to go for the afternoon show. That's what we're doing for the afternoon show. So the afternoon show is where my name is highlighted. So you see the plaque back there. The plaque back there, it says the best local morning radio show. Voted on by the readers of the Richmond Times-Dispatch. So we do plan on doing this again, but we're doing it for the afternoon show. However, the morning show, if we're able to make the top 5. Now, there were several different shows. There was more than 5 shows in the morning category. Well, morning radio is big. And, of course, here I am. I've actually have won the best award for morning radio. Well, listen, that's what I do. Been doing this since Roswell. I mean, what do you expect? Of course, here I am going to be winning the Best Morning Radio Show Award. Now we just got to go and try to get the afternoon one. So, but Saturday Morning Radio, if we get into the top 5, the goal, of course, ladies and gentlemen, is to have that voting in July. I think it's July 15th through August the 2nd. So there'll be more information about that in the future. Just stay tuned. I've been kind of relaxed this week. I didn't really do a whole lot of reels, news reels. You know what? I'm just tired. I don't have to do them every single day. I don't know, and I know that you want me to, but sometimes the news is just such a drag. The news is terrible as a drag, and so I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a few days off, not do a bunch of reels. Listen, I did do the 3POA midweek mayhem. Make sure you're following 3POA on social media, all over social media. My homies over there with the 3POA podcast. There's a show tonight. Might end up showing up tonight too. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm kind of busy around here in these parts lately. But shout out to a couple people all in the chat. Shout out to Mary Murr first as usual. IR Reeks, Sir Philosopher, of course. You listen to Sir Philosopher. Sir Philosopher is before Saturday morning radio. Mixtape starts around 9 o'clock, goes until about 11-ish. Yeah, should be at the Stushin. The Stushin. Yeah, he made up a new word this morning. It's not a radio station, it's a radio Stushin because it's a student-run station. Listen, I thought that was genius. I'm going to start using it myself. Here at WDCE, the longest-running independent radio station. So that's great. Mudscuffer, I see Mudscuffer down there. Joe Prime, 1986. Aces Place, 22. See you down in the chat. Auntie Queen as well. Shout out to all of you who've been saying stuff in the chat. Once again, I apologize. I thought I was going to be doing all of this disclosure, but then, of course, my whole staff over there ends up trolling everybody, and then I end up trolling you. Not on purpose, though. Not on purpose. It was not on purpose. Please accept my genuine apology on all of that. But I was talking about the news. You're right. Yeah. So it's a lot of times I do these reels, and I do the reels every single day. And the news is just depressing. It's terrible. It's awful. It's absolutely horrible. And so sometimes I have to just take a break. Shout out to Ringside Rhythms. He's here in the chat as well. Are you listening to his show? So we do talk about wrestling. We just had the predictions. Were you listening? Were you listening last hour when me and Dave were talking about the predictions for Clash in Italy? Listen, I'm not going to go back and say anything about it other than that you missed it if you weren't listening to it. That's why it's a radio-only show. You should be listening to Saturday morning radio on the radio from 11 to noon. And then, of course, watching me, Sam Newsman, from 12-ish to about 12:45-ish. And I turn on the Sam cams and all of that jazz. But it's a radio show first. In fact, this show is a radio show. The only reason why I turn on the Sam cams to begin with is because people years ago sat there and said, Sam, people want to see your beautiful puppet face along with listening to your beautiful puppet voice. And I said, you know what? That's a really good idea. So then what do? We started turning on the Sam cams. Where did we start with this? Periscope. You guys remember Periscope? Periscope is when we started doing this years and years and years ago. That was what Twitter was using for their video streaming. So, Ringside Rhythm says he missed it. Well, listen, just reach out to the producer. Reach out to me. I might actually have a copy of it somewhere. But yeah, listen, you should be listening to the show. It's radio only from 11 to noon. And then, of course, I show up from noon to 1. Well, I say noon to 1. Because what happens is the Citizen Germ comes on towards the end of the show when we revert back to radio only. So, and that'll be in a bit. Listen, I'm telling you what, it was one of those weeks. I said, I'm going to take a break. I said to myself, I'm going to take a break. And then, you know what ended up happening? This was great because I didn't have this planned. I did not have this planned at all. But across my desk, ladies and gentlemen, across my desk, let's see, can we get it right here? So here it is right here. I have on my desk from the last couple of days, I have the Good News Roundup. That's right. Old Auntie's Good News Roundup. And this is really interesting because, like I said, I'm always reading the news, and the news is very terrible. But I do have the Good News Roundup with the tagline, it's not all terrible. It's not. And it's not all terrible. So of course, this is going to be a new segment, so long as I end up continuing to get these. Because if I don't end up continuing to get these, then, well, we'll have to revert back to the horrible news. But if I continue to get these Good News Roundup here, if I get the Good News Roundup, we'll make this a weekly segment, where I'm sitting there telling you about good news before I leave the show. That's really what it's all about, right? I mean, you sat there, you went through the whole week, you've heard nothing but just horrible news, specifically if you're watching most of my reels. I think I'm going to do Happy Hump Day too. That's another thing that I tried out the other day. The only reels that I did this week was the Happy Hump Day reel. And what did I use? I used the Good News Roundup. Yeah, well, it was because I was like, hey, it's a Happy Hump Day. It's the middle of the week. What should I be doing? Well, you know what I should be doing? I should be reading good news on Happy Hump Day. So hopefully, if this still just continues to be a thing and this good news comes across my desk, I'll be doing Happy Hump Day reports on Wednesday. And then here, as I end up closing out my segment of the show, I'll do some good news roundup. So the first one, of course, is Indonesia bans elephant riding nationwide. Well, of course, then my first question is how is anybody going to get around? But good for them doing that. Giant pandas no longer endangered. Giant pandas are real. Have you guys ever went down that rabbit hole? The whole giant panda rabbit hole that pandas aren't real? Well, I mean, I know giant pandas are real, but there's a whole rabbit hole saying that they're not. Listen, I'm just telling you what I'm saying. So the ozone layer healing faster than expected. Is the ozone layer still a thing? Because, I remember climate change was a really bad thing for a while. And then all of a sudden data centers ended up being built. And now the data centers. Anyways, the AI data centers, they're being built everywhere, sucking up all the groundwater and making everything terrible. You don't hear about climate change anymore, do you? No, we got to have data centers. So that went away. Plastic bag bans reduced plastic litter and shoreline cleanups by 47%. Well, that's good. That means that the fish aren't choking on plastic bags. I never understood why people littered. Do you litter? And people might sit there and say, oh, you know what? It's biodegradable. That doesn't mean anything. Oh, shout out to Hira. I see Hira down in the chat. So if you do pop in, just make sure you say hello. I'll shout you out here if I'm able to see you. Shout out to Hira. But yeah, so there's good news. Of course, still going on. What is it? New York City sees fewest murders in record history in the first 4 months of 2026. Well, when oh man, well when the police don't respond to anything, then yeah, I guess no, I'm kidding. More than 400 new independent bookstores opened in 2025, a 31% increase than 2024. So that was nice. So I guess that's still happening because it is 2026. More than 4,300 fewer teens and young adults died by suicide after a launch of the 988 crisis hotline. Yeah. So please, if you do have problems, and you're questioning yourself and your reality, just tell somebody. Give somebody a call. Give that 988 crisis hotline a call. Did you know that Mexico has banned cosmetic testing on animals? That's happening as well. That's good. And every public school in Tokyo now has a vegetable garden. So that was 1 day's worth of stuff. Then what did we have? We also had this one. Scientists report a 64% rebound in migratory monarch butterflies. Yeah, butterflies have been, listen, you haven't been seeing them that much, unless you have a butterfly bush. But the monarch butterflies, they're coming back. USPS announces reissue of the beloved Mr. Rogers stamp. Oh, look at that. You know what? I should have saved that one for last. Oh, man, because Jeremy has this whole Mr. Rogers segment, which is radio only, by the way. Scientists engineer bacteria that can enter tumors to help destroy them from the inside. So that's always good. 9 different species of whales appear in the waters around New York City on a single day. That means the water around New York City is getting better. Whales are starting to show up. That's nice. Netherlands becomes the first country to completely eliminate stray dogs. That's great. And here's a good one. Study finds helping children laugh can make their brains more resilient and learning easier. Listen, it is all about the kids. We try to make this as family friendly here as possible. Sometimes it can be hard with all the terrible news that's happening. So that was the other one that was there. So there's that. And then of course I got this last one here. This one's really good. So Australian companies trialing a 4-day work week report improved productivity and better well-being, with most opting to keep the schedule. Now, wouldn't that be nice if all of a sudden everything was just a 4-day work week? But you know what? I know it makes sense, right? But here in America, you got to grind. You gotta grind. You gotta grind. You gotta get a side. You gotta grind. You gotta grind. Then you gotta get a side hustle. That's what they always say. So it's like, good grief. All you gotta do is just work until you're dead. So I don't really see that happening here. So that's the truth. Greyhound racing banned in Scotland, soon to be banned in Wales, following parliamentary votes. Then teen pregnancy rates have fallen more than 1/3 around the world. Wow, that's good too. Abstinence always works, ladies and gentlemen. Abstinence is the best form of self-control. So you heard it here. Abstinence works. So, UK's emissions fall to the lowest levels in more than 150 years. That's good. AI-powered glasses are helping people with dementia stay independent. That's nice. Koala-sniffing dogs are helping save endangered marsupials from fires and floods in Australia. Yeah, well, listen, thank gosh there's koala-sniffing dogs around. Wait, is that a hybrid? Koala-sniffing dog? Right? Is it some kind of chimera? No, it's a dog that sniffs koalas out to save koalas. Oh, okay. All right. Well, listen, I was just trying to figure that out. Wasn't really sure. Okay, I get it. Brazil has reduced deforestation in the Amazon significantly. And finally, study finds chatting with strangers boosts your spirits, highlighting lasting benefits of social ties. That's great. That is wonderful. Oh, and of course, well, wait a minute. Far be it from me to close this out without a bad joke of the day, a dad joke, a bad joke, dad bad, whatever. It rhymes, but the bad joke of the day. Here's a good one, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so here you go. Listen to this. What do you call a belt made of watches? What do you call a belt made of watches? Give everybody just a moment there in the chat. Anybody know in the chat? Able to type it out here. One last time. Here it is. What do you call a belt made of watches? All right. Nobody? Crickets? You call it a waste of time. Oh, that's genius. What do you call a belt made of watches? A waste of time. Oh, that's incredible. I love that. Oh, that's amazing. Absolutely incredible. So that is your good news roundup, followed by a bad joke of the day. So tip of the cap, of course, to Auntie's good news report. See, it's not always bad news. And hopefully, if that still just ends up showing up across my desk, we'll be doing that here on a weekly basis. Ending the week with a little bit of some sunshine, if you will. It's sunny right now here out in Richmond. It is 12:23 here on the 30th day of May in the year 2026. 12:44. Sorry, it's 12:44. The clock just changed. 12:44 here on the 30th day of May in the year 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to head out of here in just a little bit, but what I need you to do is a few things. Follow me at Sam Newsman all over social media. Follow me at Sam Newsman all over social media, and you'll be able to see me as I do my reports throughout the week. And also, we have some really fun stuff coming up too. Video game streaming with me. Well, Sam, how do you video game stream as a puppet? Well, listen, you're going to find out. Just follow me online at Sam Newsman all over social media, and you'll be able to find out how you can watch me, a real award-winning media puppet, play video games. I might be doing some of that later this afternoon. We'll see. You just have to follow me at Sam Newsman to see what we have in store for that. Also, what is it? A couple of other things here. Yes, that's right. Download the Live 365 app. Search WDCE, and you'll be able to listen to Citizen Germ's Mr. Rogers segment. It goes over just a few other things that old Uncle Fred would just have you think about as you go about the rest of your weekend. We all should be very thankful about things, And something about Mr. Rogers and some of the quotes that he has really allows us to do that. So make sure you download the Live 365 app, search WDCE. You can also go to WDCE.net. There's a link there to listen to that. So there's a couple of songs we're going to play here, and then Citizen Germ will come in with his Mr. Rogers segment of the show. As for me, I want to thank everyone, of course, for listening to the show, watching, of course, via the Sam Cams on social media. The show's not over yet, though. Make sure you download the Live 365 app, search WDCE, or listen to us live. That's a real radio broadcast microphone here, ladies and gentlemen. We're broadcasting live on WDCE 90.1 FM out of the University of Richmond. So once again, thanks everyone for listening. We'll be back next week to talk about having the power. Yeah, that's right, because I have the power. Question is, do you have the power? And if you know, you know. Broadcasting live from the University of Richmond studios here at WDCE, setting the standard and raising the bar. The only way a real award-winning media puppet knows how to do. From the most trusted puppet in media, reporting since Roswell, I'm Sam Newsman, and this is WDCE 90.1 FM, University of Richmond Radio.
There's something in the back room. Hope it's not that creatures from above.